Imagine holding a tiny piece of American history in your hand, a Jefferson nickel worth thousands, not just 5 cents. Welcome back. You won't believe how much some of these rare coins can actually be worth. From secret minting errors to forgotten treasures, these nickels have stories that'll blow your mind. Stick around till the end, and you might just discover a hidden gem worth a small fortune. The 2007 USA 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, stands as a testament to the rich history of American numismatics. This simple, yet significant coin, with its detailed design and captivating history, has become a favorite among collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts alike. If you're someone who's interested in discovering the story behind this particular nickel, then you're in for a treat. Let's start by traveling back in time, long before 2007, to understand how the 5-cent coin came to be. The history of the nickel dates back to the early 19th century when the U.S. Mint was struggling with a shortage of small denomination coins. At that time, the country's economy was growing rapidly, and the need for everyday currency was paramount. In 1866, the U.S. Mint introduced the shield nickel as a solution, making the 5-cent coin a permanent fixture in American currency. Since its inception, the nickel has gone through numerous design changes, each reflecting different moments in U.S. history. But by 2007, the 5-cent coin had evolved into a piece of history that was not only functional but also a work of art, with significant meaning attached to it. To understand the 2007 version of the coin, we need to look at its design, which was part of a series issued in celebration of the 200th anniversary of Thomas Jefferson's birth. Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence, is one of the most iconic figures in American history. His legacy is immortalized in this coin, as his likeness has graced the nickel since 1938. However, the 2007 nickel was part of a special series, marking the bicentennial of Jefferson's birth. The Mint released a redesigned coin that year, featuring not just his portrait on the obverse, but also a new reverse design to honor his contributions and the Louisiana Purchase, which was a monumental event during his presidency. The reverse of the coin in 2007 is particularly unique. Unlike the standard reverse design that had been used for decades, this version features a depiction of the Monticello home, which Jefferson designed and built himself in Virginia. This was a fitting tribute to his architectural achievements and his passion for learning and innovation. The house stands as a symbol of Jefferson's legacy, and its inclusion on the nickel was a powerful reminder of his profound influence on the country. It's important to note that the design of the 2007 nickel was not without controversy. Many collectors were initially skeptical of the changes, as the coin marked a departure from the traditional Jeffersonian motifs that had been used for years. However, as with most coin releases, the design was appreciated over time for its artistic merit and historical significance. The 2007 nickel also sparked conversation because of its composition. While the traditional nickel has a blend of copper and nickel, the 2007 version maintained this familiar mix. However, the metal content of U.S. coins has been a topic of much debate throughout the years, especially during periods of inflation and economic challenge. The 2007 nickel, made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, continued the tradition of offering durability while also serving as a reminder of the country's resilience through changing economic times. When the 2007 nickel first hit the mints, it was not immediately viewed as a rare or valuable coin. Like most modern circulation coins, it was produced in large quantities and released into daily circulation. However, collectors knew that certain factors, such as design, rarity, and the quality of the strike, could make a coin valuable in the future. It wasn't until later that the 2007 nickel began to garner attention for its rarity in certain conditions and, of course, its eventual increase in value. For collectors, the 2007 nickel series stands out because of the sheer beauty of the designs and the historical context behind them. Many people were drawn to the coin's connection to Thomas Jefferson, a figure who not only shaped the nation but also embodied the ideals of freedom, exploration, and intellectual pursuit. His role in the Louisiana Purchase, which expanded the size of the United States, made him a figure of immense importance in the nation's history, and the coin serves as a tangible reminder of his enduring legacy. As with many coins, the 2007 nickel wasn't initially seen as an object of great monetary value. It was released into circulation alongside other coins and spent as regular currency. But coin collectors have long known that some of the most valuable coins are those that were once overlooked or discarded. And so, over time, the 2007 nickel began to capture the attention of savvy numismatists who were searching for rare coins that had escaped the notice of the general public. The 2007 nickel is considered special for a few reasons, but the main factor in its rising value has been its scarcity in uncirculated condition. When coins are released into circulation, they are often subjected to wear and tear as they are used for everyday transactions. Coins that are kept in pristine condition, however, remain valuable. The 2007 nickel, due to its design and the fact that it was part of a special release series, became highly sought after in mint state. Collectors have actively searched for these nickels in perfect or near-perfect condition, and that has driven up their market value over time. One of the rarest varieties of the 2007 nickel is the full steps Monticello variety. This particular version of the coin features an exceptionally sharp and detailed image of Monticello, with the steps of the building clearly visible. For numismatists, the full steps variety represents the pinnacle of quality in minting, and it is this version of the coin that commands the highest prices on the market today. Now, we've traveled through the history, the design, and the rise in collector interest for the 2007 5-cent coin. But the real question remains, what is this coin worth today? Well, the 2007 nickel, which once circulated widely and was worth a mere 5 cents, has become an incredibly valuable item on the collector's market. If you happen to own a pristine, uncirculated 2007 nickel, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, certain versions of the 2007 nickel, especially those with the full steps, reverse or in uncirculated condition, have sold for upwards of $27,000. That's right, a coin worth just 5 cents when it was first minted could now fetch a stunning price. So, if you have a 2007 5-cent coin lying around in your collection, it might be worth more than you think. And for those who are just getting into coin collecting, the 2007 nickel serves as a perfect example of how the value of a coin can evolve over time. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most unassuming coins can become the most valuable treasures, depending on their condition and historical importance. In the world of numismatics, certain coins have the power to captivate collectors and enthusiasts alike, with stories that stretch far beyond their humble purpose. One such coin is the 5-cent piece minted in 1994. Although this nickel was, for many years, seen as just another common coin in circulation, its true value has skyrocketed over time, making it an unexpected treasure in the world of collecting. To understand why this seemingly ordinary coin has become so highly sought after, we must delve into its history, design, minting, and the collectors who have helped it reach astonishing heights. Let's begin by taking a step back in time. The nickel has been a staple of American currency for over a century, but the 1994 version stands out as part of a legacy that has evolved significantly since its inception. Introduced in 1866, the 5-cent piece was created to address the growing need for small denomination coins. Over the years, the design of the nickel has gone through numerous changes, each reflecting the socio-political climate of its time. However, by 1994, the design had stabilized into one of the most iconic images in American numismatics, the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson's presence on the nickel has been a defining feature since 1938. His likeness, crafted by the talented artist Felix Schlag, has been a constant, symbolizing the ideals of liberty and democracy that Jefferson helped to shape. His image, shown in profile, is often seen as a timeless representation of the values on which America was built. While his face graces the obverse of the coin, the reverse features an important symbol of Jefferson's legacy, his estate, Monticello. The design of the 1994 nickel stayed true to this tradition, showcasing Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. But the coin minted that year was more than just a simple piece of currency. It was a reflection of both the historical context of Jefferson's life and the technical advances made by the U.S. Mint in the late 20th century. While the obverse remained largely unchanged, the reverse design of the 1994 nickel had undergone refinements. The Monticello building, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece, is shown in intricate detail, highlighting its impressive columns, steps, and dome. The coin's reverse features the inscription E pluribus unum, the motto that symbolizes unity in diversity, along with the denomination, 5 cents, and the mint mark, which indicates where the coin was struck. For those unfamiliar with numismatic terminology, the mint mark is crucial, as it indicates whether the coin was produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or another mint location, which can influence the coin's rarity and, consequently, its value. For most people, a nickel is a nickel. It's a coin you use to pay for small purchases, and it typically doesn't elicit much thought. However, as with many pieces of currency, certain factors can influence the value of a coin. The 1994 nickel, like many others, was produced in large quantities, meaning that most of the coins in circulation were fairly common. But over time, certain versions of the coin became increasingly rare, particularly those in mint condition or with specific characteristics that set them apart from the rest. One of the key factors that can elevate the value of a coin is its condition. Most coins that circulate in daily transactions inevitably show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, nicks, discoloration, and general handling can degrade a coin's appearance and lower its value. However, coins that are preserved in mint condition, those that have never been in circulation, are far more valuable to collectors. These coins, often referred to as uncirculated, retain their sharp, crisp details and pristine surfaces, making them highly coveted by numismatists. In the case of the 1994 nickel, uncirculated examples have become increasingly desirable. As collectors sought to find coins that had been well preserved, the demand for the 1994 nickel in flawless condition began to rise. But it wasn't just the overall condition of the coin that made it appealing. Some collectors were also looking for rare varieties of the 1994 nickel, particularly those that featured minting errors. Minting errors can significantly increase a coin's value. These errors may include things like double strikes, where the design is stamped onto the coin more than once, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. While such errors are not common, they have the potential to make a coin far rarer and more valuable than a typical example. The 1994 nickel is no exception. As collectors began to examine the coins closely, certain varieties with minting flaws emerged, further driving up their desirability. Now, let's fast forward to the present day. The value of the 1994 nickel has reached remarkable heights. While the coin's face value remains just 5 cents, certain versions of the 1994 nickel have fetched astonishing amounts in the market. The key to this surge in value lies in the scarcity of high-quality examples, particularly those in uncirculated condition or with unique minting errors. In recent years, the 1994 nickel has become a symbol of how seemingly ordinary coins can, over time, become rare and valuable collectibles. Some of the most pristine 1994 nickels, those with perfect strikes, sharp details, and no visible flaws, have sold for upwards of $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, a nickel worth 5 cents when it was first minted has now become a rare treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the 1994 nickel worth such a staggering amount? Several factors contribute to this high price tag. The rarity of the coin in mint condition, coupled with the demand from collectors, has played a large role in driving up its value. Additionally, coins with minting errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, have become incredibly sought after, further contributing to the inflated prices. As more collectors recognize the value of these rare and unique versions, the market for the 1994 nickel has continued to grow, pushing its worth higher. What's particularly fascinating about the 1994 nickel's rise in value is that it demonstrates how time can change the perception of a coin. What was once seen as an ordinary piece of currency, used in everyday transactions, has transformed into a highly sought-after collectible. This speaks to the unpredictable nature of the coin market and the sometimes surprising ways that certain coins can gain value over the years. If you happen to come across a 1994 nickel in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. If it's in excellent condition or has some unusual characteristics, you may just be holding on to a small fortune. And even if your 1994 nickel isn't quite in the condition needed to fetch a massive price, it still carries with it a story that connects it to the rich history of American currency. In 1983, the 5-cent piece, or nickel, was already a familiar and widely circulated coin in the United States. However, what many didn't realize at the time was that this seemingly ordinary nickel would one day be recognized as one of the most coveted coins among collectors. What made this coin stand out among the thousands of other nickels in circulation wasn't just its design or its place in history, but a series of factors that would go on to make it an incredibly valuable treasure. The United States Mint had been producing the 5-cent coin for well over a century by the time 1983 rolled around. During that time, the coin underwent numerous design changes and variations to reflect the nation's evolving story. The 1983 nickel, however, remained closely aligned with a design that had been in use for decades. This design featured the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the depiction of Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. This design, which had been in circulation since 1938, was deeply entrenched in American history and culture. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and one of the nation's founding fathers, was an iconic figure in American life. His image on the nickel had become a symbol of the values of liberty, democracy, and progress. While the obverse remained largely unchanged, the 1983 nickel did have some minor differences in the way it was minted compared to previous years. In the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was beginning to face pressures due to rising costs, especially in terms of the metal used for coin production. This led to the Mint experimenting with new methods and slightly different compositions for its coins. The 5-cent piece in 1983, just like in previous years, featured a mixture of copper and nickel. However, subtle changes to the production process during this time would contribute to variations that would later intrigue coin collectors. As with all coins, the key to their value often lies in their rarity and condition. The 1983 nickel was not initially seen as something special or rare. In fact, millions of these coins were produced and released into circulation, where they quickly became a regular part of daily transactions. For most people, a nickel was simply 5 cents, a small, insignificant amount that wasn't likely to cause anyone to stop and take a second look. Yet, over the course of time, certain factors began to contribute to the increased interest in this particular coin. One of the biggest contributors to the growing collector interest in the 1983 nickel was the appearance of minting errors. These errors, which can occur for a variety of reasons during the minting process, are often what turn an otherwise common coin into a valuable rarity. In the case of the 1983 nickel, the U.S. Mint inadvertently produced a small number of coins with striking errors that would eventually make them highly sought after by collectors. Minting errors can range from simple misalignments in the design to more complex issues like double strikes or off-center impressions. When these types of errors occur, they make the coin significantly rarer, which in turn increases its value. In the case of the 1983 nickel, one of the most notable errors was a misalignment in the striking process, causing some of the coins to feature a distorted or off-center image. These errors are what eventually began drawing the attention of coin collectors. At first, only a handful of these misaligned 1983 nickels were identified, but as word spread within the numismatic community, interest in these coins grew. While minting errors played a crucial role in the rising popularity of the 1983 nickel, there was another factor that contributed to the increased demand. In the 1980s, coin collecting as a hobby was gaining popularity. The rise of interest in numismatics was fueled by a growing awareness of the potential value of coins that had been produced in limited quantities or had rare features. This trend created a market where certain coins, like the 1983 nickel, could go from being a common piece of currency to a highly coveted collectible. As more and more collectors began to actively seek out coins with errors, the 1983 nickel became an important part of the conversation. People who had once overlooked the coin as nothing more than a minor denomination in their pocket change started to recognize it as a potential gem. The value of the 1983 nickel, particularly those with minting errors, began to climb. And as the years went by, a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand caused the price of the 1983 nickel to rise significantly. When you consider the factors that go into determining the value of a coin, the condition it's in is of paramount importance. Most coins that have circulated for a number of years show signs of wear and tear, scratches, scuffs, and discoloration are all common. However, coins that are in mint condition, meaning they show little to no signs of wear, are far more valuable. These coins are considered to be in uncirculated condition, and they are highly sought after by collectors. For the 1983 nickel, the coins that remained in excellent condition, free from scratches or other forms of damage, were the ones that truly captured the attention of serious collectors. These pristine examples of the coin, especially those with minting errors, could fetch impressive prices in the market. The uncirculated 1983 nickels with minor imperfections, such as misaligned strikes or doubled dies, began to sell for significant amounts of money. The demand for these coins continued to rise as more collectors became aware of their rarity and potential value. What made the 1983 nickel even more intriguing was the discovery of an extremely rare variation that further amplified its appeal. Among the various 1983 nickels produced, there were a few that had been struck with an unusually high percentage of copper. This error, which occurred when the wrong metal mixture was used in the production process, resulted in a small number of 1983 nickels having a slightly different color and weight compared to the typical version of the coin. These wrong metal nickels, while incredibly rare, quickly became the holy grail for collectors looking to add a truly unique item to their collection. As the years passed, the number of rare 1983 nickels with minting errors dwindled, and the demand for these coins only increased. What was once a humble 5-cent piece that could be easily overlooked became a sought-after rarity, with collectors constantly on the lookout for examples in perfect condition or with striking errors. Today, the value of a 1983 nickel can vary greatly depending on its condition and whether it features any unique minting characteristics. And now, for the grand reveal, a 1983 nickel, particularly one with a minting error or in exceptional condition, can be worth as much as $98,000.